Good morning, everyone. Last night I spent the night here at Traveler's Inn in Colma, California, which is less than 10 miles south of downtown San Francisco. And the room rate for a weeknight was under $140 after using my AAA discount. I stayed here about 2 years ago, the last time I was up here in Colma, and I remembered that the room was really nice, even though the hotel is located in kind of a strange location right here in the same parking lot as this gas station. This is pretty much a residential neighborhood, so after the gas station closes at night, it gets really quiet here. And last night was one of the most peaceful night's sleep I've had in a long time. So I'm filling up with gas and I'm going to hop on the 280 freeway, which is just a few blocks from here. And my destination this morning is the San Francisco Columbarium, which is in downtown San Francisco, just a couple of blocks north of the Golden Gate Park. And if you're interested in seeing the inside of my hotel room, stick around to the end of this video. It was only 10 miles away, but it took me an hour to get here. Now I'm sitting here waiting for the San Francisco Columbarium to open. They're supposed to open at 9 o'clock, and I'm here, I think it's only 8 o'clock. I wasn't sure how long it would take me to get here, or how long it would take me to find. It's really cold this morning. Fog has rolled in, and it's even sprinkling a little bit, waiting for the doors to open. And while I'm doing that, I thought I'd tell you a little bit about who I'm here to see today, or at least which final resting places I'm hoping to see today. When San Francisco supervisor Harvey Milk was assassinated, he was cremated, but fortunately they did create a cenotaph here at the San Francisco Columbarium, not far from where he was a supervisor in downtown City Hall. Now, I've seen pictures online, but I've never been here myself in person, so I wanted to come and see his cenotaph for myself. I called a few days ago to ask about hours and parking and to ask if it was okay to take pictures and film inside, and they were very nice and friendly and helpful and said that filming was perfectly okay. They're obviously very proud of this historic landmark. The guy I spoke to on the phone said there was some parking here on site and also on the street, but I didn't realize that this was located in a residential neighborhood at the end of a cul-de-sac. I just assumed that it was going to cost me a fortune to park in a high-rise parking structure somewhere here downtown. So I was very shocked and very pleasantly surprised to find very easy and free parking here. Of course, it didn't hurt that I got here so early either. The domed columbarium was built in the neoclassical architectural style 123 years ago in 1898. And apparently it's the only non-denominational burial place within the San Francisco city limits that is open to the public and still has space available. So while I'm waiting for the doors to open, let's go take a look around the grounds and see what there is to see. National Rosie the Riveter Memorial Rose Garden. Rose gardens are always a very popular place to scatter ashes. In case you're wondering what the sign says, it reads, "These roses honor the legacy of the women who made history on our home front during World War II. They are part of a national living memorial to inspire a new generation of 21st century Rosies." That's pretty awesome and something I haven't seen before. There's also this really enormous Buddha statue here, which I assume is a Buddhist garden for also scattering or burying ashes. And it looks like visitors have been here recently to make offerings. This is really a tranquil location, and I bet the squirrels and the birds love it here too. It's 9 o'clock now, and the guy just came out of the office to unlock the columbarium doors. And fortunately, I'm the only one here right now, so I can leisurely look around on my own. I asked the attendant if he could show me where Harvey Milk's niche is located, and I was surprised when he said it's not located in the main columbarium. I'm glad I asked because I probably would have been very frustrated looking around for hours inside the historic domed columbarium when his memorial is just right across the courtyard in the Hall of Olympians columbarium. The attendant was nice enough to unlock the door for me and to show me where his niche is located, so let's start here. The Hall of Olympians columbarium seems to be much newer and is located in the courtyard just to the left of the entrance to the older historic columbarium. As the attendant directed me to Harvey Milk's niche, he said that Milk's cremated remains were initially interred here, but at some point the family had decided to remove them and scatter them, but this memorial niche or cenotaph was left as a place to remember him. Since Moscone and White both have gravesites, I'm happy to see that Harvey Milk at least has this cenotaph to visit. For those of you who might not remember or may just not know, on January 8, 1978, Harvey Milk became the first openly gay elected official in the history of California. He was elected to the Board of Supervisors in San Francisco and served with Mayor George Moscone. One of Milk's fellow supervisors was Dan White, and White was not a fan of the more liberal Milk and Moscone, and later that year resigned his position as supervisor. But shortly after resigning, he reconsidered and asked Mayor Moscone to reinstate him. Moscone refused, and the rest is history. On November 27, 1978, White shot and killed both Mayor George Moscone and Harvey Milk in their City Hall offices. Moscone was 49 years old, and Milk was 48 years old. And I discovered something interesting while filming this video. All three men were military veterans. Milk and Moscone both served in the Navy, and White served in the Army. Moscone is buried at Holy Cross Cemetery in the nearby city of Colma, just down the street from the hotel where I stayed last night. And White is buried at Golden Gate National Cemetery in San Bruno, which is about 15 miles south of here. For the crime of cold-bloodedly murdering both Milk and Moscone, Dan White served 5 years in prison, which I'm sure was not a big surprise to the gay community. I think I've heard of people serving longer sentences than that for jaywalking or stealing a pack of cigarettes. Maybe not, but I'm sure you get my point. Not long after he was released, though, Dan White took his own life on October 21st, 1985, at the age of 39. As awful and as unthinkable as his crime was, in the end, he achieved the exact opposite thing that he was trying to achieve. I guess he wasn't familiar with the law of unintended consequences. His attempt to kill liberal values such as non-discrimination, inclusivity, diversity, tolerance, compassion, kindness, a desire to help your fellow man and those less fortunate, and to do your best to live by the golden rule, in the end, backfired. In fact, Harvey Milk became a martyr and galvanized the gay community. LGBTQ+ visibility, awareness, and acceptance spread to every household in America, courtesy of Dan White. Sadly, though, all you have to do in 2021 is turn on the radio, the TV, or go online to see that the Dan Whites of this world are still very much alive and well. At this point, all I can say is that I think 19th century French writer Jean-Baptiste Alphonse Karr certainly knew what he was talking about when he coined the phrase, "The more things change, the more they stay the same." And as I promised earlier, here's a tour of my room at the Traveler's Inn in the city of Colma where I stayed last night. As you can probably tell, it's a lot nicer than the Motel 6s where I normally stay on my trips. There's even a microwave and a mini fridge that I don't think I've ever seen in a Motel 6. Have any of you stayed here before? If so, feel free to share your reviews in the comments section. Both times I've stayed here, I've been able to park my car right in front of my door, which I find very convenient and the number one thing I look for in a hotel room. After the price and the location, that is. So thanks for joining me on, for me, a very special trip to this columbarium, this historic columbarium in downtown San Francisco. And until our next trip to the cemetery together, or a columbarium, thanks for sharing the memories, everybody.